I am privileged and honored to be the representative of the city of Prattville by having this distinguished recognition for the Purple Heart. This shows the character, the leadership of this city, and it reflects as far as the citizens throughout the state of Alabama. This original award started on August 7th of 1782, which was called the Badge of Military Merit. This was by George Washington. And then in 1918, John Pershing, Blackjack Pershing of World War I, he recognized this award too. And in 1932, it was on Washington's radar, and they extinguished and recognized the name for the Purple Heart. This country has made a lot of sacrifices for freedom, and freedom does not come cheap. This is for the award for the military servicemen that were wounded, and some that gave the ultimate price. In World War I, we lost there was over 250,000 individuals that were wounded. In World War II, there was 964,409. In Korea, there was 936. In Vietnam, there was 200,676. In the Persian Gulf, we had 590 wounded. In Afghanistan, we've had 7,903 wounded. And in Iraq, we've had 35,367. These are a lot of individuals. Freedom does not come cheap. But we must recognize this city and the people that gave so much so that we can have that. I am privileged and honored to stand before you and to recognize this city and these individuals for this award.
Well, isn't it good that that's a weather siren and not a bomb alert or a terrorist attack or something? So timing can be everything, and but it's good to know why that. Well, we got the alarm going on one end, and we got church bells at another. It just goes to show how great our country is. I'm gonna pause just a moment here while we allow some of this noise to make itself known.
Bill, you got one more after this.
By the way, I'll take credit for the weather today. So I got one more.
Usually the attack comes after this. That's the one that goes up and down.
Yeah.
Okay.
The single blast is weather. The attack goes up and down. You'll hear it go down here in a little bit.
Hey, since we have all the video cameras, can we start pointing up the sky and running? You put that on the head. Did you know? Don't learn something every day.
So if you hear this one, it's really fast.
Yeah. And I was actually just kidding about the weather. It was Teresa Lee was in charge of the weather.
Yeah, and obviously putting it in the middle of the siren test.
Can I order 74-degree weather this afternoon about 4 o'clock?
It works for me.
Oh, I'm going to just say thank you for the shade tree over here.
Okay, we're done now, Mayor.
We are Tree City too, I believe.
We are.
As I mentioned earlier, the City Council passed a resolution last night, and Ray Bowles was a sponsor, council member. Ray Bowles was the sponsoring member of that, and I do appreciate him for doing that and helping this community be more aware of this. What I say, am I supposed to call you Mr. Hort?
Steve is fine.
Steve Hort? If you'll come up, and you were very instrumental in getting Teresa Lee, yourself, Councilmember Bowles, helping pull all this together, and it's things like that that actually help make Prattville such a better place, one project at a time. And it also, as I mentioned earlier, we're just so grateful for the community, from the community, for all the military presence here. And I think one thing that recent events, it probably really shows a little sense of that, is that during our 4th of July parade, where normally you have a grand marshal of, for various reasons, a few years ago we decided that we're going to honor our World War II veterans. And then the next 4th of July parade, we honored our Korean War veterans. And then this year we honored the Vietnam War veterans. And it's just I think, another area, another way that we show how very patriotic and appreciative we are of the military. That this point in time, I would like to go ahead and read this proclamation and present it to you. Whereas the Purple Heart is the oldest decoration in present use, it was initially created as the badge of military merit by General George Washington on August 7, 1782. Whereas the Purple Heart was the first American Service Award for decoration made available to the common soldier and is specifically awarded to any member of the United States Armed Services wounded or killed in battle with a declared enemy of the United States. Whereas the mission of the Military Order of Purple Heart, chartered by an act of Congress, is to foster an environment of goodwill among the combat wounded veteran members and their families, promote patriotism, support legislative initiatives, and most importantly, make sure we never forget. Whereas the Tri-County Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 1349, the American Legion Post 122 are both located here in Prattville. They have granted their full support to this initiative. And whereas Highway 31, a Blue Star Highway, runs through the city of Prattville, and our city is adjacent to I-65, which is part of the National Purple Heart Trail. Whereas the city of Prattville was the founder and home to River Region Honor Flight, which honored all of World War II veterans and encompassed many Purple Heart Medal recipients. Whereas the city of Prattville has had several residents make the ultimate sacrifice in all the world wars since 1898, and has a number of residents that have been awarded the Purple Heart for wounds received in combat. We appreciate the sacrifices our Purple Heart recipients have made in defending our freedoms, and believe it is important that we acknowledge them for the courage and show them the support they have earned. Now therefore, I, Bill Gillespie, Mayor of the City of Prattville, do hereby recognize the 231st anniversary of the medal's creation by General George Washington, and declared August 7th, 2013 to be National Purple Heart Day in the City of Prattville. Mr. Horton, if you would accept this, I certainly would appreciate it.
I certainly will. An honor. We appreciate that.
And
Very much.
I'd like to speak.
I just happen to have a couple of things that
Okay.
I gave you a tease with last night that I would like to present. Assistant Commander Dickman of the Chapter 2205 of the Military Order of the Purple Hearts. We have a plaque that we show, and I will read it at your pleasure. The Military Order of the Purple Heart Special Recognition Award is bestowed with pride to the city of Prattville, Alabama, for your dedication and support honoring America's combat wounded veterans, becoming the Purple Heart City. Presented by the patriotic members of Chapter 2205, Military Order of the Purple Heart, USA.
I certainly appreciate this. It will be presented and mounted for all the seniors as they come into my office.
And we have one other thing that we would like to show. The Purple Heart flag we presented to the city of Prattville in recognition of them declaring themselves the Purple Heart City.
Thank you. We will display that also with pride.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And John Thornton, Purple Heart.
Well, thank you. That is, I will most certainly keep that in display also. And if you'll excuse me for just one moment. Sometimes I carry a little too many things, almost like a little mini toolbox in my pocket. And with that said, I would like to give you a mayoral point on that.
Appreciate it.
And thank
Welcome
you.
aboard.
Thank you, thank you. Well, we will display all of these for to see and promote, and you know, purple has always been a very royal color, and I think that whenever Senator Washington chose this, he did quite well. Now, I think that the city of Prattville has been represented very well here today. We do have the state representative here, we've got our city councilor here, we've got the American Legion here to be represented, and you guys also. So thank you, and thank you for everything that you do for this community.
Thank you again, sir.
As I mentioned, making Prattville better, just one project at a time.